What is up, everybody? Today I wanted to talk about a couple different things. One of them being how things are interpreted when you are under the influence of marijuana, and then the other one is um, sorry, I made that sound. One of them is also how things happen to turn out when you have a brick device. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, obviously, was the brick device, but I kind of wanted to switch gears a little bit and do the marijuana first. So obviously, marijuana is a drug that's enhancing, altering, and it gives you a different perception on reality and a different outlook of what's truly happening. And the reason I think that a lot of it is controlled so heavily is because not only is it a substance, but because if you have a concentrated amount of it, you're going to have a different result than if you have an unconcentrated amount of this. And what I mean by that is, if you have a more concentrated dose with like a high amount of THC, you're going to have a different experience. But if you have a lower dose with a little bit of THC, you're going to have a little bit less of an enhanced experience. So this comes a little bit across when you're interpreting, when you're listening to music, when you're taking a walk, or watching a comedy or something. You're going to react differently, and you're going to react a little bit seemingly slower, possibly, maybe. But for the most part, it's like you're not necessarily feeling a type of way about it, and you just happen to keep on moving. And it's like you feel like you're underwater is the best way to put it. And that's not necessarily to the high itself, but your reaction time and your feeling towards something might be a little different than it normally is. So, the first couple times I smoked probably would have been probably high school into college. And then college, I was really bad. I was a stoner. But it's like when you have isolated incidents of like, okay, I'm not gonna smoke today. I gotta stop, or I'm feeling like I should stop smoke, or the opposite. But like you feel like you should smoke a lot more. It's like you build up a tolerance. It's kind of funny because you tell yourself that you're not gonna do that, and you're telling yourself that you're gonna be different and like not do it, and then you end up doing it anyway. So it's kind of funny to just wind up doing that sort of thing and seeing how it goes. I remember the first time I smoked, I was completely out of it, and like I just remember I was watching MTV or something, and I just remember like everything was like blurry. And that's kind of what I was getting at with what I started with the concept of this episode with, is you kind of have different negotiations in your own mind of how things are supposed to be going, but then the THC or whatever takes it all away. Takes it every last bit of it, and it's just like completely gone. You have nothing to control it with. You just have absolutely every little bit drained, and you like you have nothing to say. And then trying to make each episode last a little bit longer than normal, because it's a fun thing to do. But it's kind of like I'm trying to grab your concept, and it's like, I don't really necessarily know what to say sometimes. But yeah. And then the next concept I wanted to talk about was brick devices. So brick devices, this happens when, so perfect example, I had an iPhone XR and it shut off in my hand and it never was able to be used again. So that's an example of a bricked device. So when you can't turn something back on, you can't use it ever again, you can't use it anymore, it's bricked. Not necessarily that, but when something is bricked, that's what it is. So I just wanted to say, like, if someone were to take the concept of like overriding the software that makes a device bricked, or much less making an antivirus for it, I'm just saying that somehow this could all be avoided, and we would probably be able to have all of our phones and everything working just completely normal, and not even have to take it somewhere if there was antiviruses installed for it.